So how do you think that we can bring in citizens, civil society to work together with government, to strengthen Nigeria's democratic process?
One, because it all begins with the kind of social contract that we have signed as a people. And the social contract begins with the Nigerian Constitution. And the Nigerian Constitution clearly states from Section 22 and Section 39 that the Nigerian citizen have a right, fundamental right, one, to express themselves, fundamental right to freedom of information and access, and the fundamental right to fight for all their human rights. And in the compendium of all the conversation of human rights, you have things like inclusivity, you have things like good governance. A situation where in Nigeria, the only conversation we really have is about government, which means structures, renaming places here and there. Those are not important conversations. What we should be looking at is governance that involves the specificities of processes, of policies that are designed, engineered, and executed for the definite direct target it is meant for. A situation where, for example, we've been fighting for the equality gender bill. I mean, you look at countries like Rwanda, you look at Botswana, you go to Namibia, you see these African countries that Nigerians like to boast towards and say we're bigger than them. Look at Kenya, go to Kenya. I've been to these countries, and one of the things I found very astounding about them is the fact that they understand that politics is about the inclusivity of a philosophical framework, a philosophy of ideas that are so diversified that allows for the inclusion of various parties, for the inclusions of various citizens, which means young people, women, as well as men, all have an equal say, including children. The other day, I was asking a very important question. For us to progress forward, we need to define who is a Nigerian. What is the definition of the value of a Nigerian? The fact that we are talking about the divisiveness in Nigeria, the fact that we're also talking about the state of insecurity in the spirits, in the souls of Nigeria, that is an indication that tells us that we're not even started to scratch the surface. And in scratching that surface, we must come to a collective psychological acceptance that this place called Nigeria is for Nigerians. And the definition and value of a Nigerian should be defined, one, through the way we treat security issues. You talk about democracy. Democracy exists when people understand that there are structures to it, there are processes to it, and there are frameworks that exist to enable them function. We talk about rule of law. We talk about transparency. We talk about accountability. We talk about a situation where civil society have the right to speak inherent. We had the Nigerian National Human Rights Commission today. Lately, they came out with data that shows that the rate at which the Nigerian space is operating with the respect for the human rights of Nigerians is below par. And that is in reference to where you look at places like Rwanda that understood that for you to elevate and navigate the gender space, you have to introduce, right, an affirmative action. And this is where our gender bills need to be reviewed and executed in a manner that does not show we are delaying. We support democracy, which is the inclusion of various voices. So right now, as we speak, as Nigerians, we should be looking at how do we make our legislative arm, the executive, the judiciary, work functionally.